The Economic Partnership Agreement between Southern African Development Community and the European Union will be signed in Kasane in Botswana this Friday. This signals the end of the long-running negotiations. In the light of this, the Agricultural Trade Forum will host a public dialogue on the implementation issues under the SADC-EU Economic Partnership Agreement in the agro-food sector in Windhoek this week. With more details, I'm now joined by Rejoice Karita from the forum. Good morning, ma'am, and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you.
Perhaps we can start off with you explaining to the viewers this morning what is the role of the Agricultural Trade Forum?
Well, the role of the Agricultural Trade Forum is basically being the voice for the agriculture sector in terms of agriculture trade and trade policy issues. We are more of an interface between government as well as the private sector, specifically when it comes to agriculture trade. We've been involved in the trade negotiations as well as the EPPA, where we have been providing a private sector perspectives in the negotiations that Namibia is involved in. And of course, the EPPA was one of those agreements. And obviously we do this through the government ministries of industrialization, as well as the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Forestry. So we also do a lot of information dissemination in terms of issues that affect the trade of Namibian agricultural products, whether it's within the domestic market or within the third trading partners. Yeah. Right. So basically, in a nutshell, that's what we do.
Let's talk about the EPPA of SADC and the European Union of 2014 and what it entailed.
Well, the EPPA is basically an agreement, a free trade agreement between what we call the SADC-EPPA group, of which Namibia is a member, and the European Union. So it basically provides the, let me say, the free exchange of goods between the two countries. Obviously, whether its tariffs are completely eliminated or in certain cases will be phased out over a certain period of time. Obviously, this EPPA for Namibia, it provides us with duty-free, quota-free access into the European market. Obviously, there are a number of provisions within the agreement that would then regulate the trade between Namibia and the European Union.
Were Namibian leaders able to negotiate the best deal in terms of this EPPA?
Well, as you know, negotiations are a give and take. You need to compromise a few issues here and there in order to get what you want. But I think looking at the agreement holistically, yes, I would say we were able to get the best deal for Namibia. Obviously, this is based on a few reasons. As I said, the agreement guarantees Namibian products duty-free access into the European market. Obviously, in exchange, we also had to open up our market to European products coming into Namibia or within the SACU configuration. But however, in that aspect, we have also been able to negotiate provisions that would somehow also protect us or the domestic market or industries in cases where maybe the influx of EU products are threatening domestic industries or displacing domestic industries. So there are provisions where we as Namibia can also protect ourselves in that regard. Yeah, I think so. In a nutshell, yes, we have also, the government has also been able to negotiate some leeway in terms of being able to use some certain government policies for industrialization, value addition, you know, the whole objectives of the Namibian government. So in a nutshell, holistically, yes, I think we were able to negotiate the best deal for the country.
Fantastic. Now you'll be hosting a talk that will be focusing on the implementation issues under the SADC-EU EPPA agreement in the agro-food sector. Take us through this talk that will be happening.
Well, this is the 37th dialogue of the Agricultural Trade Forum. It's a regular activity on the calendar of the Trade Forum, where we provide a platform on topical issues that are currently happening within the country that specifically affect trade of agricultural products. I think we thought this is the opportune time to have a dialogue specifically focusing on the EPPAs, because, as you said, these will be signed on Friday. So basically, it's open to all interested stakeholders, the general public who are interested in the issue, whether it's between the ACP-EU relations or specifically on the EPPA and the implementation thereof. So we'll be analyzing a few issues, obviously looking at the trend of Namibia and EU trade. We'll be looking at maybe what are some of the implementation issues that we as Namibia need to have in place to be able to implement this agreement, whether it's be institutions that we need to have or whether it's systems and policies that we need to have in place to implement this agreement effectively. We'll also maybe briefly touch on what are some of the opportunities that Namibia has as we implement this agreement. How can we take better use of this agreement? So yes, it's open to everyone who's interested. It will be held on the 8th of June, Wednesday, starting at 8:30 in the morning at the Nice restaurant. So yeah, we've also invited Dr. Goodison, Paul Goodison.
I was just about to ask you about him. He's a policy expert with over 30 years experience.
Yes,
tell us a bit about him.
He has over 30 years experience in particularly EU-ACP relations. He has written a number of papers on how some of the EU directives or policies have an impact on trade within the ACP countries, of which Namibia is also a member. So he'll be giving us some insight from an EU perspective as to what are some of the issues that we need to be cognizant of as we implement this agreement. How can we be more proactive? How can we be more proactive and try to take advantage of this agreement? What are some of the issues that we also need to be cautious of as we implement and as we try to also improve our trade relations with the EU? We also have His Excellency Ambassador Hanno Brumf, who was very instrumental actually and very involved in the EPPA negotiations during his term in Belgium. So he'll also be giving us some of his insights as to how we can better implement the agreement as well. So.
Ms. Carita, we've almost come to the end of your interview, but any final comments from you?
Maybe finally I would just say obviously the agreement provides us with opportunities, and I think whether it be companies within the private sector, investors, entrepreneurs, I think the challenge is upon us as Namibia as to how we can make better use of the agreement so that we also expand our export basket. And then finally, really just to invite everyone who's interested to also be part of the dialogue, be part of the debate, contribute. I think we would like to have as many perspectives as possible. It's one of our aims is also to input into government policy. So the more perspectives we have, I think the better the outcome would be.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well,